Welcome to Canada's podcast.
FuturVille, building Canada's first healthy longevity village. Go to futureville.com to learn more.
Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, managing editor of Canada's podcast. Joining me today in taking care of some business here is Angela Bernard, who is founder of FuturVille. Thanks for joining us today, Angela.
Thanks, Mario. Good to be here with you.
All right, let's start with a little bit about FuturVille. Just maybe describe for us what it is.
So we are development directors for healthy longevity villages. So we're building our first prototype village in Vulcan, Alberta, where you can live long and prosper.
Okay, it obviously takes the moniker from the Star Trek and from Vulcan's location. Tell me, location-wise, why did you choose Vulcan?
We actually have a criteria for where we look for properties and villages that can be developed. So within 1 hour of a major urban center is number one criteria. Safety and security is number two. So where there is a perceived sense of safety and security for people. We want to see a base level of infrastructure in the town that we're also working in. There's a lot of infrastructure, even though it's a small town. There is, a whole list of infrastructure that's there, from recreation facilities to some of the highest broadband internet. We're looking for a unique destination as far as the natural attributes. So of course it is oil and gas country and the heart of agriculture here in Canada. So those features will be part of the actual experience in living in Vulcan.
You can see the foothills and the Rocky Mountains from there too.
Absolutely. It's Rocky Mountains one side, prairies the other. We had some customers that came over from Toronto as they flew in from the Calgary airport and went down to Vulcan. They just went, "Oh wow, there's such a sense of peace and serenity here. There's fresh air that they hadn't experienced for a long time." And we took them on a tour of the town and the infrastructure that's there. They experienced an amazing sense of welcome. There was lots of diversity in who they experienced in the food and the community. So we know that these are actually some of the pieces that in selling communities that people are often missing. They get sold properties and real estate, but they're missing the soft attributes of the community and where it comes from.
So let's talk some numbers here, some specifics. How big you envision the site to be?
So it's 63 acres, Mario. So it's right on the edge of town. There's a 30 acre serviced industrial site right across the road. It's right beside a hospital, walking distance from, the schools and the downtown core. So it probably fits the bill of the 15-minute walkable city. Within the 63 acres, there's an approved area structure plan already in existence. I would say it's a little bit outdated in so much as it was sort of checked off and endorsed by the community back in 2008. So we're looking at putting some fresh ideas into the development. And which includes a world-class health and treatment center, a boutique hotel, commercial services, and common social spaces. So it really is going to be sort of its own little village within a village. And it will be designed in such a way that there's a lot of community engagement. You will absolutely know your neighbors. The focus of the village is that you were coming there as a resident or a visitor with the intention of adding 10 healthy years or more onto your lifespan.
So, and roughly how many residences do you foresee there, and what types of residences?
First of all, there's an approved area structure plan for 300 dwellings. That is a mix of multifamily, residential, row housing, single family. So that's the density that we're looking at, potentially up to 1,000, what I call residents on site, depending on how many bodies per household. We are approved as a future zone, which is a showcase of housing and lifestyle technologies. And we've worked with the town of Vulcan to create that, and which will include short and long-term stays. So people can actually live there full-time, or they can live there part-time and then, rent out their house while they're not there in the rental pool. The timeline is we would like to get 100 community bonds sold, and that is pre-interest in living or working in Vulcan within the next 4 months. That's our goal. That's very optimistic, but we've partnered with Canada's podcast to get part of the word out. And we know, and we've been, working on our research over the last few years, that wellness real estate is the fastest growing niche in the world. And putting intentional health and spa-like, and experiences built into real estate is a particular niche that we're focused on. We have 2 years after the initial early adopters to get to a detailed area structure plan, and 3 years to build. So really, we're looking at getting those early adopters who want to build out a showcase home or a home and be part of the commercial builds in 3 years.
FuturVille, building Canada's first healthy longevity village. Go to FuturVille.com to learn more.
So, and maybe explain a little bit more, Angela, this bonds. What does that mean? And maybe walk me through it. You're approaching me to be it. If I'm interested in this, what does that mean for me?
Absolutely. So keeping it as simple as possible, in historical or traditional construction builds, you buy off spec, right? So the developer comes up with all of the detailed design.
Yeah.
You're buying a product. Community is secondary. We're flipping that and saying we're looking for community bond holders to come in at the ground level to get the detail in the design of the community. So we are doing design charrettes. We're doing, we're doing surveys on what are the features and programs that you want to see in the community. So you are an active voice in the getting from the detail now to what we want to build. So it's very community centric. And we've built in some safety and precautions into the bond offer. So as a bond holder, you do collectively will have a mortgage on title on the property. So it's backed by real estate, and there's also a 7% return on the bond. And that is because we know that the commercial interests in the community are going to return that just, alone in the real estate, that the equity value return in the real estate is going to be that. So we're super confident. And so that's the assured guarantee for the early adopters. Okay. We also know that once you have skin in the game, if you like to describe it as that, or you have a stake in making sure this community gets built the way you want it to, you'll talk about it with 2 friends.
Mm. So what would a bond be worth? What's my effort of financially to put in here?
So we've kept it really accessible because it's not an actual lot that we're selling, right? We're not selling as a product yet. We're selling community first. And just for the record, we have developed this with our finance team and our legal team. We're aligned with Canadian Securities Commissions. So it is within our network that we're selling community bonds. The minimum investment for a person is $5,000. We anticipate people like medical practitioners, health and wellness coaches, nutritionists. We imagine people who have services that will be retail related or commercial related, buying in now and getting a first right of refusal to have commercial space. As a business, it's $10,000 investment for the same idea. And we want to build in healthy returns on investment at each step of the development process.
Okay. Now, for residences, who do you think this is going to appeal to? From the demographic point of view, I'm curious.
If I could describe the niche as people who have already made the commitment and are willing to invest more in making healthy choices daily. I have a vision. My partners won't let me talk about how long I want to live for, but I believe that I can live very healthy over 100 years. And I've made a lot of changes, lifestyle changes, and food and optimal nutrition, optimal relationships. And I want to surround myself with people who are on the same quest. So, you'll be making choices in what the detail of your home. You'll have water filters in your home, for instance. You'll have, you'll have healthier cars. You'll have healthier environments. We know that living in this small town, it already has a healthy impact versus the hustle and bustle of a major urban center.
Sure.
We want to bring the additional services so that they're close to home.
Mhm.
And you have a budget and you're willing to pay for those.
When the time comes to put shovels in the ground, so to speak, do you have a vision of who do you want to partner with, or what?
That's a great question. We have been intentionally researching and sourcing different developers who have created what I describe as kind of like the Disneyland of lifestyle experiences. So, but day to day, it's not just a resort you go to, it's actually what you're experiencing day to day. There's a few developers in British Columbia right now that have built sort of all-inclusive destination living experiences. We're in very early stages talking to them, but that's who we envision coming to the table.
Okay. And, as you look into the future, Angela, do you foresee this kind of model, I guess, being rolled out in other areas?
Yeah, our big picture goal, Mario, is to develop this prototype village, perhaps two others. I have a vision for 3 different prototypes of different sizes, for the purpose of open sourcing the process so that anybody can be their own village developer. So we envision it being able to scale. We're developing, we're putting together a portfolio and a brochure of providers. When I say providers, housing providers. We're talking to a 3D printed home builder out of Toronto. We're talking to some modular home builders in Western Canada to say, listen, you can come in, you can buy the lot, you can pick, here are the features and benefits of these home builders, who we've done all the research with, if you like, to make sure that they're quality approved and can build fast. But how they build is with less harm to the environment. They're faster. They have a longevity feature to the materials in their build. Those are the pieces that we're putting together on top of the programming and experiences in the village.
All right. Wonderful. Thanks, Angela, for joining us today.
Fantastic. Thanks. Fun to be with you, Mario.
All right. That was Angela Bernard, who is founder of FuturVille. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, managing editor of Canada's Podcast. Thanks for joining us today.
FuturVille. Building Canada's first healthy longevity village. Go to FuturVille.com to learn more.